this for a year. What are we doing?
I don't know.
A whole year? A whole year? You let this happen.
You let this happen.
You just told me to stop doing it. We kept going.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Ladies and gentlemen, we did it.
We did it, boys. We did it.
We've kept a commitment longer than most y'all's relationships. Boom, boom. Don't want to knock over the thing. Welcome to Metal Waifu.
What up?
I'm Nick.
I'm Alexis.
We are here on this glorious November to celebrate the fact that we came up with a crazy idea during the pandemic, and now it's this.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Get a ice cream with a little candle in it.
I'm kind of mad I should have taken the H out. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. I went to college.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. So we have decided, for in honor of our 1 year of doing this podcast together and everything like that, we've decided to rehash material.
Fair.
and then talk about our tops for the year. Top three. I have three.
I don't think any of mine or anything we've talked about.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
I know for a fact, I'll tell you that the top three are definitely stuff we talked about. Because, man, free time in me or just the want to watch things on my own sometimes is real hard.
That's been me with the music, though. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I listen. I'm an audio engineer. Sometimes I just don't want to listen to new things that come out.
Yeah, that's fair.
I just want to bop to the old 90s jams and
listen.
leave myself alone.
Biscuit came out with an album, all right, bro? You can bop some Biscuit if you wanted to.
They did?
On Halloween. You didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Oh, you sure
Oh,
did.
dear God. Oh, now I got some homework to do and some tears to shed for not good reasons.
Good news. I haven't listened to it yet either, but I know it came out, so that's probably something on my list for the morbid curiosity. Not for
Be us sending dumb shit to each other.
Oh my God, you wouldn't believe the crap that came out of Fred Durst's mouth. I'm assuming. Apparently, I hadn't heard like terrible things about it. I'm assuming it has some moments. Maybe
that's probably because like 6 people have listened to it.
No, you don't
It's
understand.
the whole 6 people.
Well, no, you understand that like bigger publications have been like, yeah, Limp Bizkit just came with an album on Halloween, and then so
no, literally haven't known that.
yeah. So well, that might be for a later episode or something like that, but we are talking about anime this year, and I will say, even though I didn't have much time to get into other anime this year outside of looking at the stuff that we watched, I will say this is probably the most anime I've watched in a long time.
I will say the animes that I picked are all things that did come out this year.
Not me.
Yeah.
Maybe one, I think, came out, but within the span of our time period. Here's the stipulations, right, in terms of...
Oh, I didn't know that was a stipulation was in the time period of us doing this.
Well, I'm assuming because a lot of people are going to see this as like our top 3 animes for this year. We're not saying that the criteria met has to be that it's anime that came out this year. This is anime that we...
Shit, I wish I would have known that.
Seriously? Well, I'm just saying that it's stuff that we have watched this year.
I mean, it's fine. It's actually... Well, some of them actually... mine are just like second seasons, so the things have already been running.
Okay,
so.
because for me, it's like if I try to catch up with a bunch of the animes that are coming out, because there's just piles of anime that come out every single year.
Crazy.
I'm just like I don't know which ones to watch, and there's some I do want to watch or whatever, but then like it comes down to like just getting myself to watch a lot of this stuff. And there's certain things I'm good about watching. Like there's some stuff that like I can watch on a consistent basis. Like when like the Star Wars Marvel stuff comes out, I'm pretty good about like Wednesday morning waking up, watching the episode before I go into work and making that kind of routine kind of thing. But when it comes to like anime, like a good chunk of the time we watched a lot of it was for this podcast. Like that was when I mostly watched a majority of it, which like was kind of like my goal to begin with. Was to go. It was this being the reason why I get back into watching anime and like having a place to talk about it and discuss what I come to realization of what I like and what I honestly don't like in terms of what I want to watch. And so I'm trying to figure out where I want to watch, what anime I want to watch, and what I'd be interested in. I think my list that I had made reflects that between the stuff I like, the what I feel like is the stuff I like to watch, and then also an understanding of it, if it just being genuinely good, not just also like my 3 is a guilty pleasure. I'll tell you that, but like my 2 and 1, I definitely feel like
I'm calling myself out hard with my top 3. Well, all of them. My honorable mentions too. You're just gonna.
I have one honorable mention. We can do like the honorable mentions after right before we do the number 1 we have, so then like we have a little bit of that, whatever.
Oh, so we're gonna go backwards 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, let's start at the bottom and go to the top. That's
okay.
right. That's kind of all that. But yeah. So this is it. Should I just get mine out of the way, because I feel like mine we've already talked about in pretty extensive details, and then.
Or do you want to do 3, 3, 2, 2?
Yeah, that's how we're gonna do it.
Okay,
Yeah. We're 3, 3, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1.
That's what it sounded like in my head. Yeah.
Round up.
3, 3, 3.
Halloween's already over, unfortunately. As fun as it was, it's done. It's done.
And we actually spent Halloween together. At least a part of it. The very few hours got smashed in a few hours.
Oh my god, it was so. Listen, Halloween this year. You know what? I'm gonna say it. It was a successful Halloween season.
Dude, me too. I was so busy.
Halloween Horror Nights. I managed to go 3 times this year.
Same.
I didn't have to spend an express pass, which
We did.
I know some people did, and I get like if you're going just for the one, or you're going with some group of people that are only going once and getting express pass is fine. But like for me, it was just like I got to take my time. I got to enjoy it. I got to like.
We got to watch both the shows, which was awesome.
I
we watched the Nightmare Fuel show twice.
Oh, nice. Okay.
That show is.
I didn't end up watching it. I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big show person.
It was incredible.
I've seen
My
videos of it.
bisexuality was so rampant.
You know what? That was a low key kind of like the thing. It was just like, is this show cool because it's actually well done, or is it only because you're horny?
Oh no, both.
Both.
It is really well done.
Oh,
like
okay.
some of the choreography was but I mean there was fire, there was magic, there was explosions, there was sex.
I like the
that was a dance move. Literally the
on.
girls bend over and the guys just and I mean it is full thrust hits. Like it's beautiful. And TikTok, y'all be thirsting over one particular fucking dancer. And my friend works, well, I got multiple friends that work at Halloween Horror Nights that know that dancer, and it was just really funny. I was like, why are they thirsting so hard over this man?
I mean, you said TikTok.
I know.
TikTok be thirsty.
It was a lot. He was all over my For You page, and so I sent it to my friend, and I was like, what is going on? Because my friend was the house manager for the Tooth Fairy.
Oh, yeah. You mentioned that beforehand.
So it's just like, what is going on? And he's a drag queen. It's amazing.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
he's a really good drag queen, too.
Man of many talents.
Wow.
I did I did see the lake show and everything like that. That was fun. I like all
that was cool.
the whatchamacallit, I forget what they're called.
Projections?
Projection overlays and all that stuff and everything. It was cool. Houses, I will say this, houses, I think I couldn't say there was a bad house. Even like the weakest house being Beetlejuice.
It was so fun.
It was fun.
I really enjoyed
it.
That sandworm did kind of freak me out at the end, though. I was like, holy shit, it's so big.
Yeah. I was even surprised by the Haunted Hill House one. That was actually like genuinely fucked with me. Like going through those dark hallways and all that stuff.
All the hung ladies.
What's this, a Fuda house?
Oh, no. Hung ladies.
Oh, no. Oh, Darren. Oh, I've seemed to... I don't know why I'm about to do a Nigel Thornberry, but let's get out of this.
Wicked Growth was really fun.
Wicked Growth was very good. The scare zones were probably the weakest part.
Yeah, they were a little lackluster.
Yeah, the opening one was fine. It had some like little hints here and there. I was a little sad it wasn't like, I think it was 25, 26. There was one where the opening area was just all the icons like had their little stage. I was a little sad it wasn't that. I think it was kind of more like a throwback to like the first few like Halloween Horror Nights where they kind of looked at that, and then like obviously like the Grove, the Blood Harvest one was the throwback from 1 years ago, which that one was fine. Those two, and the I think the best one was Eddie's Revenge, the Lights Cameras Action. Scare zone right on Hollywood Boulevard.
Oh yeah. Wow,
one,
I just like blanked out. I was like, where?
That one was fun. I actually I got pretty toasted the last day I went to the Halloween Horror Nights, and it was I just like needed to like sit down for a little bit. And I just sat there and watched scare actors do work. It was fantastic. They tried, and the one got me while I was literally just sitting in a chair and was like, "This, oh my god, I'm lit." I'm lit. But yeah, and then like the Crypt TV one was kind of like whatever.
I was so excited about that one, and
It
then
was
I
just
was
a
like,
photo op.
it really was. And
Yeah.
I don't know if that's maybe like post-COVID issues where they're like not sure. Because, I mean, if you notice, like the Seek and Destroy, everybody had the helmet on.
And but even the Seek and Destroy one, that was weak just because of the theming. The theming
was
of
weird.
Yeah, it was a really weird theme. I think I wasn't a big fan. And I think
But they always seem to have some weird like alien one, like every year. Like there was the one
Yeah.
where the spaceship was like crashed into the ground. That,
oh, wasn't that like the dock one, or whatever? Where it was like a extraterrestrial harbor.
yeah,
or
or
whatever.
whatever. Like they've always seemed to have like some weird alien extraterrestrial scare zone, which I don't understand because I don't find that scary. But that's
No,
just me.
I mean, yeah.
I don't know.
But people find probing scary. Ooh, not in my butt.
Y'all need to live a little.
Sheesh, 2021. But yeah, no, overall, it was a very successful Halloween Horror Nights. It was a very exciting, fun Halloween season.
Yeah, I went to Screamageddon, and I went to
did
this place called
Screamageddon.
Sir Henry's. That was really cute. Sir Henry's is really cool. I think you should definitely hit that up next year.
Next year, Sir Henry's. Okay.
Yeah, it's really cute. It's really simple. It was just 3 like, they called them, what did they call them? Trail, like haunted trails, but they were still houses, but they
Yeah.
were really cool. They had this blood masquerade one, which was vampires, but it was cool because it was almost like a movie sort of thing. So like when you walked in, you ran into people that were, I think, still supposed to be human, and they were like, "Welcome to the oh, are you here for the masquerade? Oh, right this way." And so they kind of like led you in, and then it got like more intense as you went on, and
that's
you're like,
cool.
"I'm gonna die."
I'm going to die. That's cool. That's cool. That'd be a good one for next year.
Yeah, and it was super cheap.
Good, good.
It's like I think the regular tickets were $25, and then if you wanted the first in line, it was $35.
I will say this: if you guys ever, if for anybody out of state or whatever, if you ever want a good like time to like do, if you like haunted houses or like all that kind of stuff, like Florida is chock full of them. You don't have to. You don't just have to go to Halloween Horror Nights, and a lot of them are like well designed and fun, and they're like a decent price. Even like Busch Gardens, like Hollow Scream or whatever, it's
yeah.
a bent nickel to go to, and it's usually pretty good.
The most expensive thing you're gonna do is Halloween Horror
Yeah,
Nights. That
100%.
bitch is expensive.
Yeah.
This year was just asinine.
Yeah.
If those ticket prices keep up next year, I don't think I'm going though.
Yeah, the you know what, the Frequent Fear Pass was fine for me because I made my value going those 3 days.
That's
the
true.
worst part of this year is paying for parking. The parking
Yeah.
is stupid. It's dumb. I get it. They're probably trying to recoup for a lot of the stuff going on this past year and everything like that. But like, come on, man, come on.
I'm really hoping that like next year that'll all kind of calm down. I don't think the price of parking will drop, but I'm hoping that the tickets and everything will drop.
I don't know if it's going to, especially because they're trying to open Epic Universe. I think that's the reason why.
Gross.
Well, that was our
Disappointed.
disappointment as always. That was our Halloween Horror Nights tangent on our top 3 anime episode.
I know. Here we go.
But leading into it, speaking of scary things and horrific, awful things that are shown to you on the television screen or in anything at all. Terrible transition. My number 3 is Goblin Slayer.
Oh, okay. I was like, I don't know where this is going, but that was where my brain went. So.
Fucked up shit. Yeah. So Goblin Slayer is my number 3. I think the reason why it's there is, one, I put it in my 3rd spot because I will say it's definitely the guilty pleasure of my list, the guiltiest of pleasures, but not because I enjoyed it not because I enjoyed it for the goblin stuff in the first episode or all the weird shit or like a lot of the fan service pandering. I enjoyed it because it was.
You didn't like cowgirls, milkers.
Ma'am, cease and desist.
She was the one that sleeps naked every night. Jesus.
Well, yeah, I mean, whatever. It's just it's as a character, that's like a normal person thing. But of course, it's an anime, so they're just like, get them floppers out, and you're just like, whoa, ma'am.
Every morning she's got to say hi to him out the window, and they just whoop out. She's like, damn, that hurt.
Hear that shit smack on the side of the wood paneling. Just,
Just over time, there's like 2 indents.
just like.
Jesus.
Yeah. Besides all that, that's why I think it's like in a strong 3. I still enjoyed it for a lot of its themes and a lot of the combat and a lot of the certain animation parts or whatever. There's still some parts here and there that I felt was a little cheap.
Yeah.
But I still had like a fun time with it. Like at no point was I like, it fed into my sensibilities of really liking the fantasy genre and D&D and all those tropes that I personally enjoy, and it did a good job of just making a fun experience after the first episode. The first episode after the first episode, the first episode really is like the hook to like either you're going to really like it or you're going to like either you're like holy fuck where's this gonna go, and from there it just becomes like a decent like good time like fantasy anime show. With some interesting points. I like the character of Goblin Slayer. I think he is a interestingly made character, even though he falls into like the stereotypes of the silent hero or like a Conan or somebody like that who has a very direct purpose and what they want to do and how they deal with situations or whatever. But it's done in a fun and interesting way that it makes you it leaves you entertained with how his character acts. The priest character, I feel like she gets a little bit more redemption, even though things it gets a little weird at certain aspects. Especially in the bed.
Yeah.
Japan. Yeah. That's better. That will lead into the big gripe I have of the show and why I keep it at a very close third. But there's also the dwarf, the elf, the lizard guy or whatever. I love all those other.
Great.
Oh, they're all great. They're all great characters. Jeez. Like there was so many like fun little nuanced things that I enjoyed, and the combat was cool, and I like the way the show basically when it came to the realization that it really was playing off the fact that it felt like when they talked about the gods playing dice and all that stuff, it really felt like that it felt like it was a D&D game, and I did like the way it kind of incorporated that. I still admit the weak aspects of the show? Absolutely. The Shield Maiden arc is not good. It's so bad. But
what a disappointment.
Yeah, but like you're still like cool. Like the sewer stuff was awesome, and there was some cool stuff from that. It was just what ended up causing the whole thing and the reasoning behind it, especially because Shield Maiden being like, oh, I did all these awful, terrible things because pity me and empathy, and you're just like, I don't care.
I don't care.
We don't, like, and even the Goblin Slayer really didn't, and I'm like, it was really weird. It was really weird. I don't know if I still haven't heard anything about it getting a second season yet.
Yeah.
I think it was popular enough. I'm not sure, but if it does, I'll watch it. I'll give it a go. There was the movie that came out, which I guess was fine or whatever. But I still.
Oh yeah, that was that whole thing where like the first 25 minutes was a recap of the entire series, and I was like, don't do it.
Don't do it. Goblin's Crown, I think it was called.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's basically everything outside of it. But for my number 3, and especially like it was also because like it was like the first anime we watched after like the first anime out of like our first 4 episodes. Because the first episode was we talked about understanding the weebs around you. So it was there's a little there. Yeah, I think it was. So it was a good like stepping back into anime and all that kind of shit. And so it's a firm third, and it's a personal third, and I'll take it as just a guilty pleasure pick. So
gotcha.
Yeah. So your third.
All right. So my third. I mean, outside of what we've done, I haven't watched a too terribly lot of anime. Yeah, I don't know. What
too terribly lot.
Yeah, I don't judge me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have been able to watch a couple things just because they are like diehard things that I've been waiting a very long time for. But my number 3 ended up really just being like something that I was like, okay, I like this show because it makes me laugh. I was like, I need to see what this is all about. And I know Yaya Han did a cosplay, and I was like, I gotta watch it. Mm-hmm. I gotta know. And that is Cells at Work Code Black.
Oh, is this the red, white blood cells and all that stuff and everything like that?
Yes. So season 2 of the original series also came out, I believe, and then they released Code Black. So the thing with Code Black is so the original is a lot more family friendly, first off. goes heavily on, I mean, it's all heavy on the medical end of like understanding how the human body works and like what these things do. If you don't know anything about it, you follow the red blood cell as like the main character, and then you meet white blood cell, who's like the other main character, and those are their names. It's just a bunch of them. And then you kind of learn the inner workings of the body. You learn how, I think like in the original series, the last episode of season 1, I think was talking about cancer. So you get to see how cancer affects the body and like what they're all doing. You get the cute little platelets, which are these like adorable little things that have like these oversized t-shirts and they're like, hello. They're so cute. I want to cosplay as one, but much more family friendly in the first, or in the original series. So then Code Black came out and it's reversed. So all of the red blood cells are male in this one, where they were female in the other, and then the white blood cells are all female, where they were male in the last one. So this one takes place in a body that is not being taken care of very well. So this person has a lot of sleep deprivation. They're drinking a lot. They're stressed out a lot. I think they smoke as well. So it's all about, this red blood cell. He's brand new to the body. He's ready to do his job. And he's realizing that, like, this body is rough and you're going through some crazy shit. So it talks about, like, what alcoholism does to your body. It's much more, like, just more mature in the way that it approaches it. Like, it is very much... here's all the fucked up things you might do to your body, and not so much as like the natural things like getting cancer or things like, or just getting a cold. Like this one's more like, this is what happens when you just degrade your own body.
This is your brain on drugs.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, this is when you're responsible for your body. This is the shit that happens. And I'm pretty sure it was 2 episodes worth. I think it's 2. There are 2 episodes worth of this man, because it's a male body, of him needing to ejaculate so bad. And he has ED.
Oh.
It is wild.
Is it funny wild, or is it kind of depressing wild?
It's a little bit of both.
Oh, nice.
It's so funny because obviously it's so serious. Basically, it is a city of people all working towards one common goal, which is to make this man ejaculate.
Oh my God.
There is this whole part about talking. So the red blood cells go into the testes, which is like a little nursery that has a bunch of women taking care of the little sperms as they mature, and then. I have to show you a picture of these sperms.
Oh my God.
So when they're all babies in like cots initially, and then they grow.
So does it please tell me, at one point did they have to deal with the fact that he probably takes like a erectile dysfunction pill or like a Viagra or something?
They
like
did
that?
not. It was actually just the body like forcing itself to get hard again. Like they were like, we need an erection now. Like it's so serious. It's so serious because again, it is serious in their world. It's just, that's what they do. They're all the cells in your body.
That's fair.
Hold on. You have to see this.
You should.
God, it's even funnier to see. So, they all start as like these cute little babies, right? They're little cute little babies in a cot. Don't mind my nails.
Fine.
And then...
Bro.
I hope I remember to put a picture on the screen of what this is. But so this is them waiting to, go off. And so the main red blood cell that you're following, he gets all like emotionally attached to this. And like the women that are taking care of these little spermites, they talk about, so when they are released into the world, that they're going to go out and make more people, and it's procreation and la da da da. And so he is like so determined. He's like, we're going to get this man an erection. We're going to make sure that these sperm get to procreate and do all this. And then he finds out when he's starting to put in all this work with everybody else, he finds out because somebody tells him, well, erections aren't always for procreation. Like this person is most likely not actually with somebody. He gets so sad about it, and he's like heartbroken. He's like, so what was all their life for? What are they gonna do? They're supposed to go and procreate. Like, he's so upset that these little sperm get released and don't get to do anything.
You can't say this shit during No Nut November. Your guys are gonna be watching this video, just imagining that during No Nut November, and they're just like, honey, I'm watching the Cell show, and clearly, if I'm letting out nuts and nothing happens, they're going to be sad.
My red blood cells are sad.
My red blood cells are going to be sad. Do you want me to nut during
They put so much work in for this erection.
Bro!
Like, it is dramatic, and I haven't finished it yet. But it tackles a lot more, like, mature stuff. It tackles, sleep deprivation and being overly stressed, not eating properly,
substance abuse, all that
yeah,
shit.
substance abuse. So it's like everything. Cells at Work, the original, is more about like the natural things that'll happen to your body, like getting sick, unfortunately getting cancer, just things like that. And then
I might have to watch the show now because I remember people mentioning about it, and now like I feel like I'll watch like the first 2 episodes. I'm assuming you don't have to, because of the way you're making it sound. You don't have to watch the first 2 seasons in order to get into
it's a completely different body.
Okay.
So each season, I believe, because I'm believing that the original series is also a different body, but I could be wrong. It could be an extension of season 1. I don't know.
Okay.
I haven't watched it yet.
Okay,
so.
I got you.
But yeah.
That's fun. All right, so number 3 is Cells at Work.
Code Black.
Code Black. I will definitely put that on my list to watch because that sounds fucking hilarious and sad all at the same time. I feel like that show is specifically designed because he was like, the person who probably created that show was like, so this is an educational show and all that kind of stuff and showing everything, whatever. And he's like, now let's relate to our actual audience. Let's relate to weebs real quick.
Yep. It's wild. It was wild.
Wild and out. All right. My number 4. My number 2, once again, kind of sticking with stuff we had previously watched on the podcast and all that kind of stuff. And it was going to be my number 1, but because of another series and because of things we have heard, I bumped it to 2 because it lingers, but I still kept it on the list because I still enjoyed that original run, and that's Promised Neverland.
Yeah.
Promised Neverland was the anime I watched that I understood that this genre could step outside of its norms and do something exciting, creative, different. Sure, borrow some things here and there. Like, it's still like a great escape style scenario, and certain things are still a little bit tropey in terms of the anime or whatever, especially when it comes to a lot of the like weird, like, what the hell is homeboy's name? Ray? Isn't Ray the kid who,
the black-haired kid?
Black-haired kid who says like, I remember everything when I was conceived from the womb and everything. I'm like, hold up.
All right,
hold up. But they kept things pretty like grounded and a lot of the stuff with dealing with the kids and everything like that. But it was so opening to me that I was just like, this is awesome. Like, it was so well written. It was so interesting. It was so like it also was great because it was one of those shows that I sat through the 12 episodes. It was a nice package that kind of guide you through and everything, and it felt like at no point did it feel like it wasted a minute of its time. Mm-hmm. Like, it's all in one setting. You're not going outside of the orphanage or anything like that, but it kept you engaged with everything because you're, as the show goes along, you introduce more of the kids and you start to empathize more with them, and like everything just like, it's all about the escape of that place, and when it's all said and done, everything that happens, it's so well done and well made and engaging. It pulls at your heartstrings. You think you would end up feeling awful for the nurse, for the original the original mother. Yeah. That you're like, because then you start to hate her and all that stuff, but then you're like, the end of the series is just like, feel bad for her, and you're like,
yep. Okay, I will.
You feel bad for the one mother who the lower mother who ends up working with the kids and everything like that because she wants to get higher up and everything.
Oh yeah.
And you feel bad for her, and you're just like, damn, man, like, because like the show does a good job of like showing you, like, if you want like flashback exposition done right and not done like Naruto, where it's like just multiple episodes will explain to you, hey, here's why Itachi's bad. And like, I don't care, man. I don't care. We're almost trying to wrap up these tuning exams, and it's just like, here's the Uchiha clan and all that. I'm like, bro, come on, just get to it.
Yeah.
Not already.
He's trying so hard.
He's trying so hard.
He eventually got there.
It's a waste, man. It's just a waste.
They just went to a sock.
Not the sock. Not the good socks. But yeah, it was it was such a good tight package that, God damn it. It was such a good series that that I still felt like it earned its spot at 2. Now, I am also saying this with the fact that apparently everything about season 2
is wrong.
is a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
I still haven't looked at what happens in season 2.
I haven't either.
And I feel like if I do, it's going to fuck up a lot of that first run, because here's what I suggest if you end up watching Promised Neverland. Watch the first season. I think the first season is well worth your time for the first 12 episodes. It's a self-contained thing. It'd be a shame that you never find out what happens with the kids, but at least you have that understanding that they make it out, and maybe like to have some adventures afterwards. The end, but everything. The only things I know about is I know that like apparently a lot of people's names were taken off during like the last few episodes because just didn't want, like, either there was issues internally or maybe they just didn't want to be associated with it.
From my understanding, it was they didn't want to be associated with the episode.
Yeah, it was episodes and everything like. Yeah, it just sounded like an absolute dumpster fire. Maybe if the show gets brought over, like, and we don't have to watch it through like a third party or whatever, guys, or one buddy was like, "Oh, you can go find it through this website or whatever," and it was just like a
and he's got like a freaking burner laptop he can use. I'm like,
yeah, no, we're not doing that, bro.
Yeah, it's like, nah, this one, it does everything, and I can't have it die.
Yeah, I wouldn't risk putting it on a show on my phone.
Right.
But yeah, so that's why I kind of bumped it down a little bit for me, because like understanding like there isn't going to be, for me, I feel like there won't be like a decent conclusion to it, but it's still, out of all the stuff I'd watched this year, I still felt like it earned its spot, and I still felt like as a singular package that you can watch, as a singular show that you can watch, a season of something, it's a good sit down and enjoy. And I think it's the truth with a lot of animes is that like a lot of animes don't get that second season. Like, you enjoy the show and you just find out there's nothing else after it, or
High School of the Dead. I am very upset about that.
Yeah.
But to be fair, the author died.
Oh, that too. That's true.
So.
He pulled a Robert Jordan.
Shit.
Yeah, no, it still earned it. And then I felt like I was gonna say one more thing. Nah, I think that's about it. Yeah, good show. Shame there's not another season. But definitely earned that second spot. What's your number 2?
So, I don't know. It might surprise you that this is not my number 1.
Oh, I think I know what it is.
So,
I think I know.
if anyone knows anything about me, I have a all-time favorite anime that I don't give a damn what anybody has an opinion about. And it's this lovely anime called Inuyasha.
Yeah.
And finally, after all these goddamn years, we get babies. Granted, babies are older, but we get children finally, and that is the beautiful creation of Yashahime, and season 2 came out this year.
I forgot that. Already has a season 2?
Yeah, my guy.
Oh, fuck. Oh, I can't. Why you? Because I remember you mentioned about it earlier. Dude, there was barely a season 1. Like, season 1 came out like 6 or 7 months ago, didn't it? How long has the first season been out?
So the first episode aired October 3rd, 2020. There's 29 episodes in total.
In the first season?
That's the total. Season 2, because season 2 is being released right now. There's only 6 episodes, I believe. Episode 6 just came out.
Jesus, they're pumping.
It's coming out November 6th.
They're pumping that shit out.
Well, to be fair, there was no manga, so they are literally like this was all the writer, creator, she. Yeah.
Shoot.
Just, there's no manga preceding this. It was just a storyline that was being written and immediately put into an anime. I've only watched bits and pieces of season 2 because I've been a little busy. Forgive me. But season 1, most of it absolutely infuriating as a diehard fan because they tiptoe around the actual story of what happened to the main characters so much to the point that you are like screaming at the screen, just tell me what the fuck happened.
You know they're doing it on purpose.
Well, of course, because it makes you keep watching because you want the answers. And I mean, hello, that's how you got to season 2, because right at the end of season 1, they're like, we're going to start giving you what you want. And boom, now you got to wait for season 2. And I was like, y'all are a bunch of assholes for this.
All a bunch of bitches.
But it is amazing. It's done in the same animation style. I mean, literally, it is like complete, like very seamless between the original series and this new series, especially where the original series was by the end of it, because obviously the animation evolved. And especially, it's not as... The animation is not like the final act episodes, I will say that. It's more like the original series, at least I believe so, to my eyeballs. But yeah, so you get to learn. I don't know if you guys are used to this as a spoiler channel, whatever. You get Kagome and Inuyasha's daughter, and then you get Sesshomaru and Rin's 2 daughters. He's got twins.
7 days a week. Pull a game week.
Which, let me tell you, for the longest time in that original series, like, we all knew immediately that it was Inuyasha and Kagome's daughter. We were like, boom, Moroha, here she is, beautiful. The other 2, Setsuna and Towa, they are a mystery as to who their mother is. We know that those are Shishomaru's daughters, but, we all knew that it was probably Rin, but we wanted the satisfaction of being told that it was Rin. And then finally you get the flashback of Kagome telling her that she did well in giving birth. And it's just like, there it is. But yeah, it's a very interesting concept. You get the introduction of, there's no longer jewel shards, there are rainbow pearls. Which is, it's so odd. It's very odd. You get to see Kagome's brother, all grown up and has his own family. And you do get to still see, you get to see modern era back into feudal era idea. That's in the very beginning. I was a little confused as to how old some of these characters are, because Kaede is still kicking. That bitch is old. Granted, I know, like, technically in feudal era, like, old back then was not like old now. But still, I'm like, how old are these kids? Like, how long was it before? Did they just immediately start making babies? They were like, we're a couple babies. And I'm like,
pop.
Granted, birth control was not a thing back then. So yeah, I guess, sure.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, and even Kagome's grandfather is still alive. Like, and her cat is still alive. Buyo is still alive. I'm like, that cat should be dead. There's no way that cat should still be alive.
That cat should be fucking dead.
I'm sorry, that's an old ass cat. This cat's like 20.
Old ass pussy.
Jesus. But yeah, I'm a part of some Facebook groups of like all of us Inuyasha fans that, we talk about it, and people share screen caps and adore over it, or we speculate on things. And so it's been an interesting ride being a part of a community like that again, because I haven't done that in a decade, because, I got out of middle school.
I became an adult, kinda.
I mean, yeah. So, but it's been really fun. And especially because this is a series where, like, a lot of us started watching it when we were younger, because obviously it is a fairly old series now. It's pretty old. You can loosen that,
Maybe.
But yeah, and now we're all grown adults, and like, these people are showing their kids watching the show, and like, it's just fun seeing everybody be so into it again.
This is where my weird sexual preferences came from.
You're not wrong. This is where I got into pet play. No. Was that too deep? I'm sorry. Don't follow me on Instagram.
Don't follow me anywhere else outside of anything at all. It gets steep.
But yeah, it's a little weird. I like, it's not 100%. I'm not 100% as in love with it as I am with the original series, which always
Yeah.
happens. It's the same thing with like the Naruto fans. I know that Boruto is not people's favorite
Yeah.
thing, but they enjoy it because it's an extension that you wanted to see for so long. Like,
Yeah, well, I feel like that was kind of the thing with Shippuden. Like, the whole point of Shippuden was
That's
that
true.
was the extension, but then, like, that was the weird thing with Boruto. It's just kind of like, okay, you became Hokage, and then it was like, now here's Boruto, and we're like, do we need this?
yeah.
Do we need this series? And, like, apparently it's gotten better, but the problem is, I think the understanding is that the issue with this show is that it keeps on falling back onto those original characters, and the problem is they're really trying to, excuse me, they're trying to get that next generation going, but the problem is that, like, how invested is your audience on that new generation? It's
Yeah.
like, because it's the same thing. Admitted. Don't you fucking lie to me. Like with Harry Potter, when they did that whole like the curse of the child or whatever and everything like that, and they talk about Harry Potter's kids or whatever. Majority of that stuff is still mostly about Harry and all them and all that kind of shit. It's just like,
It was just an excuse to make more content.
oh yeah. It's just
Hopefully raking them dollars.
I'm sure there are.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but I understand. Well, now, so for that, Yashime and everything along those lines, I feel like that for your choice for that, it's definitely a personal one. in
Yeah,
terms
no,
of that.
it's very personal. It's very, and there is still a lot. I mean, as somebody who really, really loves the show, there's a lot of really sweet little things that are added in there, like that show you that these are their kids, and like Moroha having the little lipstick that was originally Inuyasha's mom's, and then Inuyasha gave it to Kagome. Kagome gave it down to Moroha, and it's really, really sweet. And that's like her way. She turns into like, that's her kind of demon form. I don't know what they really call that she turns into. She basically blacks out and becomes this different person, kind of like when Inuyasha would go full-blooded demon, but she's only a quarter demon because he was half and now she's quarter. Poor thing. She gets roasted a lot for that. And then the whole thing with Setsuna is very interesting, her not being able to sleep anymore and she can't dream, and the whole Toa's whole thing is, because basically what happened was Toa and Setsuna, when they were little, they were like itty bitty. Toa got thrown into the modern era, and so she's raised by Kagome's brother. And then this is when all of a sudden the pearls become a thing, and she gets sucked back into the feudal era, and now she's kind of the modern girl living in the feudal era, but she is still a feudal era child, and like Setsuna doesn't really accept her as her sister, and like there's all these like little things that, in Setsuna's a lot like Sesshomaru very much, and Toa is a lot like Rin. So there's a lot of like these cute little nuances in there that as a fan you really enjoy. So I very much enjoy.
Makes sense.
Yes, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
I feel like a majority of my understanding of what Inuyasha is and everything like that mostly comes from Alexis. Because definitely when I was a wee lad, I had borderline no interest in watching it, but there was enough people that like cosplayed them and all that kind of stuff, so I knew of it and everything like that. It did, like, I was starting to hang out with Alexis more often. It's pretty much how I understand how the show works and what it's actually about and all that kind of stuff and all that.
Great.
Yeah.
I'm very in depth about my love for this show. Like it's just, yeah, it's great.
Be how it do.
I love it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But cool. All right.
So you got some
yeah,
honorable mentions?
I have one.
Okay.
And I think it's
I'll roll through mine quick because I have 3.
yeah. My specific honorable. Yeah. So before we get to the first, we want to do some quick honorable mentions that couldn't quite make the list, but we wanted to at least mention as something we enjoyed or whatever. For me, it's very quick because once again, like I said, I didn't watch a lot of stuff outside of the shows that we were planning on watching. I'm gonna try.
My honorable mentions are more so things that I'm like I've watched one episode and I'm like, I'm gonna watch the rest of this.
Oh,
So
wow. That's wild. So my honorable mention I have is I know it may be a little bit harder to sell because it's mainstream and all that stuff, but I think it was cool. It was just a cool thing because it gave a lot of like studios who had a lot of credit and a lot of like great animation, like a really good spotlight. And I think I really enjoyed Star Wars Visions. Star Wars Visions it's basically Animatrix, where it's like a series of self-contained shorts that a bunch of studios came with. And they range from like goofy, silly, like fun little anime romps. Like there's one where it's about like the cousin of Jabba the Hutt becomes like a bassist for a band.
oh my
And
god,
he forms a
wow.
band. He forms a band with a Jedi who had just escaped like the Order 66 and everything. So he's hiding out with this band and all that kind of stuff. It's way
Okay.
cutesier than you would think. Like it's very like it's mostly about like the rock music stuff and everything. And they play some J rock and all that kind of stuff. It's cute. And or it goes it goes directly into like the Kurosawa influences because they did like a black and white samurai episode where it's called The Duel, and it's about this Ronin character who's in this village, and a bunch of stormtroopers show up with this they assume it's a Sith, and she says she's a Sith. And she has like this fucking the designs for some of these fucking lightsabers they came up with. There's one episode where this bitch actually has like a whip lightsaber. Bro,
damn.
well, so it's such, of course they're like it's not canonical, and I'm like, bro, come on, man, just make like one of these episodes because the dual episodes like it starts off you're dealing with this Ronin character whom they kind of get into it, and like he starts fighting the Sith or whatever after they harass this village. Very Kurosawa, very like lone samurai in a village that's being harassed by like government or bandits or like Seven Samurai in a way. And he comes in and he shows he has force powers, and people are like, oh, he's a Jedi, he's here to help us, and then he pulls out a red lightsaber, and there's people just like,
Never mind.
the fuck, but he still duels and fights them and everything like that, and it's cool. And he ends up being here, he ends up killing her in a fight, and it's like it's brutal. It's a brutal episode, and she has this lightsaber that like it's like an umbrella lightsaber where like she puts her hilt in and then it shoots out the rest of the blade. So like when somebody starts shooting her with a blaster, it just makes like this like shield of the lightsabers going spins through and all that shit. It's like cool. It's cool visually. It's not like this pseudo like it's 3D animation, but they put this shading over it that they give it like that black and white look. But at the end of the episode, like there's this kid who's like kind of I guess become like the de facto head of the village because his father had died at some point. So he basically was because it's Japan and they have weird stuff like that. It's Star Wars Japan, and he's like so are you still a Sith or whatever or something like that or whatever, and you see him like he cracks her lightsaber and takes out the kyber crystal, which is what you use to release the lightsaber. And it's when it's made, it's used with your force energies. And then usually the red lightsaber, the red kyber crystals are the corrupted ones because they put all their hate and anger in them. But then he like takes the kyber crystal out, and then he opens up his cloaks, and he just has like a stack of these kyber crystals. So he'd been like hunting Sith, and you're just like, whoa, oh god, you're like, I want more of this. So of course it's a self-contained episode, but that's like majority of the series, and they vary in genres and they vary in a bunch of stuff, and it's really interesting and it's really cool. But the only reason I didn't put it on the list is one, it's Star Wars, so I feel like if I put it on there, I feel like there would be a little bit of like a credibility, like, well, it's not really anime, it's Star Wars, and they're getting a Star Wars budget. I'm like, yeah, but it's really still cool that these studios are getting this like exposure to them. And then also like there was episodes that were like, I wasn't like the rock episode's cool in concept, but like they do like the rock parts or whatever, it's kind of corny and like all that kind of stuff. So like it still varied in some quality or whatever. There's episodes like that I enjoyed and definitely episodes that I didn't, but I felt like it was still enough that I wanted to like mention it, that I enjoyed it. And if you're if you have Disney Plus or you have a way to watch or whatever, and you're interested in anime, I think it's still worth your time, or at least watch in support of like all the studios that got attached to it. Because I think JoJo's was involved too, like the guys who animated JoJo's were part of that and all that. So,
Damn.
give it a watch. That's my one honorable mention that I have. So,
Nice.
got yours.
I'll just run through mine really quickly, because again, they are things that I know came out and I'm really excited about, or I have watched like a couple episodes. Actually, one of them I haven't even watched any of it, but I just know it's good because I really enjoyed the manga and I spent so long reading that manga because it took years and I think it's still technically going. It's ridiculous.
Jesus,
it's too many damn episodes or chapters, too many. But yeah, because I think now the story has veered off in a direction that I just didn't care for, and I was like, all right, well, because it's following like other characters. But I'll go 3, 2, 1 for my honorable mention. So my third one is Vanitas no Carte, or I believe it's the case study of Vanitas. This is a really beautiful manga series that a lot of us are very excited got made into an anime, because if you know Jun Mochizuki, beautiful, beautiful artwork. If you're into kind of the steampunk, vampire, supernatural stuff, again? The case study of Vanitas.
Okay.
Right now, I think it's just 12 episodes. I don't know if there's going to be any more after that. But it's just the dark fantasy sort of, vampire thing.
Okay.
So if you're into stuff like that, it's really exciting, really gorgeous.
I think I've seen stuff for it, yeah.
Yeah, and it's not, there's no romance in it, so it's not anything like that of like a human falling in love with a vampire. It's literally about a guy that has, I believe he finds out he has vampire blood.
Oh, it's on Hulu. Okay.
Yeah, so cool. That one's very exciting.
I'll watch that one.
And it was.
It's only 12 episodes too, so.
Yeah. I'm very excited to finally sit down and properly watch it because I have yet to. But I saw all the little like trailer things and some people put together like clips, and I was just like, oh yes, give me. And it's been a long time since I've read the manga, so my vague remembrance of the story is kicking in. My second one, I was watching an episode earlier, is Odd Taxi.
Odd Taxi?
I know so when we were looking for like different animes to watch and stuff, that was one of them that I'd brought up. Oh. It was recently released, and it's so damn weird.
Oh, this looks kind of cool.
So it's a world of animals, and you follow the main character who's a taxi driver, and he's a walrus. He's super dry, he really kind of keeps to himself. His humor's very dry, but I very much enjoy it. And you're basically just seeing what he goes through, like the passengers he picks up, and then it does show you like a little bit of just the passenger's life. And then there is an overall story about this missing girl, missing high school girl, and they're trying to track down the guy that they most likely think did it. They say that in the beginning of it, I believe he's pretty much accused of helping the killer or the kidnapper because they're like, he rode in your taxi, definitely. And they like seize the footage of his inside camera. But then again, pretty much every person that he picks up in the taxi, you get to know a little bit about their backstory. Like you get the social media influencer dude that's all worried about going viral. And then you have this alpaca nurse, which is the nurse at the clinic that he goes to. And I believe she's stolen like 6,000 pills from her office. Yeah, and then he's got kind of a crush on her, and then like you meet his friends, and they're like in a sauna at one point, and like so you kind of get to see his life, and it's like unfolding more and more. I haven't finished all of it yet, but it's just interesting. And the radio guys are Homo sapiens, like they talk about that a lot, and they get fan mail all the time that tells them how terrible they are and that their comedy sucks, and it's most likely because they are Homo sapiens. But you never see any other Homo sapiens. You only hear them on the radio. So I don't know what this world is really revolving around. Oh, and then you meet, there's an idol group, and you get to see, like, they're trials and tribulations, and then like their number one fan ends up in his taxi. It's all just these little like kooky little stories, but there is the overarching story of this disappearing high schooler.
Okay.
And them
Interesting.
trying to find her.
That just sounds fun. That sounds very good.
It is. It's just kind of a kooky little enjoyable, and like, I can take a break between, a few episodes, and I think I would still be okay with like knowing what's going on again if I was like, I haven't watched this in like a month or two or whatever.
I feel like it's a good alternative to B-Stars because you can enjoy the kooky animal hijinks without the are the wolf and the bunny gonna have sex?
Yep, they are. So
You put sex in my Zootopia.
Pornhub did it already.
Oh, they sure did, bud. I sure did, bud. All right.
So my number one honorable mention is, again, because I love this manga. It is one of the I don't want to say it's one of the first mangas of this caliber that I read. I don't know where I'm going with this statement, but it's Horimiya or Orimiya. Horimiya? I don't know.
All right.
Horimiya. Horimiya. So this is a really cute story about the popular girl falling in love with the outcast boy. It's real cute. This is where I'm calling myself out. I love this story. It's really adorable because he's very shy and awkward, and he gets to evolve as a character because, he kind of feeds off of her and her being so outgoing and energetic, and he ends up getting more and more friends, and they get like this solid little friend group. And there are some kind of like drama bits of like fighting or whatever, or not even really fighting because if I remember correctly, they don't really like fight, but I think it's handled in a little more realistic way, where some animes, when it comes to romance, like they have a fight and it's like the whole damn world ends, and I'm like, this is a lot. I need y'all to chill.
Yeah.
This one's a little more realistic, and I believe you follow them out of high school. Like, it's a long series.
Jesus.
It takes like, how many chapters are there of this manga? Because god damn, it took forever, and I think it's still going.
I definitely feel like the first two, I feel like, as honorable mentions, like you mentioning it, I'm like, the Hot Taxi one sounds enjoyable, and the vampire one might be interesting.
How cute they are. They're so cute.
This is the story of a girl.
So there's 16 volumes.
Okay.
15 books or 16 books. How many actual chapters are there?
I feel like it's a show designed for people just like, is this what a relationship is like?
Yeah, it's a slice of life,
Okay.
It's got some comedy in there. It's kind of cheesy. It's kind of cute, but it was definitely like, I want to say when I was saying it's like one of my first mangas of this caliber, it is the first slice of life that actually felt like a slice of life, and it wasn't so like exaggerated and ridiculous.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, that actually, like, when it's done, I guess if it's like one of those shows that's done tastefully.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like, she's a popular girl, but she's not like this terrible popular. She's actually really good at her academics and everything. She's not like the trash that some of these popular people are in animes. Yeah, she's very sweet. I know that I believe her like parents were absent quite a bit, so that was kind of a thing. She was always on her own, and I think she has a brother that she takes care of, and like all of this. And yeah, there's just and then I think there's like a secret about him that she finds out, and that's when like I think that's when their relationship starts to kind of evolve, and yeah. It's very interesting. I just want to know how many damn chapters there are.
Too many.
What in the world?
What in the hell?
Why is this so hard to find?
What's your secret? My GPA is really low. What? I can't date you anymore.
My GPA is
My GPA is really low.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's still going. So
I'm gonna have to go through community college.
The last chapter, I think, is 126. And I'm pretty sure it's not over yet.
It's never over.
Yeah, it's a long running. And again, I did kind of veer off of reading it because it was starting to follow other characters that I really didn't give a shit about their life. I was like, I wasn't here for this, man. I was here for the main people. And it we're like 20 chapters past them, and they haven't come back, so I'm over it.
I'm gonna pop smoke.
Yep.
Fair enough.
But yeah,
Fair
those
enough.
are my honorable mentions. I put it on there because I am excited that it finally got an anime after so
Yeah.
long, and I'm kind of
I feel
excited
like,
how
I feel
it's.
like also those honorable mentions may also translate into maybe animes we talk about next year, or maybe you put on, maybe you liked them to the point where you watch it. I feel like there's like a little preview of what we might end up watching, because that
Probably.
actually sounds really good.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to finish that one.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Our number one for
Numero
me. I don't think anybody's gonna be really surprised by this one, especially because I've kind of talked
not.
about. Yeah, 100%. It's Vinland Saga.
Yeah.
Yay! Nobody's fucking surprised. I have my type of show I like, but this one was really, 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 really fucking good.
It is a good show.
I think this is the good caveat of it's a really fucking good anime mixed in with what I actually really enjoy out of my series. I wasn't expecting it to be like, I remember my buddies were talking about like, yo, it's pretty good and everything like that. I'm like, yeah, but we'll see, whatever. But it hit some of the stuff I liked, but then also like just the way the story is told and the interaction with the characters, and it's respect to the historical, but also understanding that it's still an anime, but it also working in and of itself, especially because it's dealing with like Viking culture and all that stuff, and a lot of those stories were already fucking exaggerated.
Yeah.
So it was just it was a good mix of that. All the characters, like, even if you didn't really necessarily care for the characters, Askeladd, as much of a fucking piece of shit that dude is, you understood what he was doing, and you understood that, like, you would understand why people would still have respect for him, especially with the things that kind of happen or whatever. I still think he's a piece of shit, but like, Thorfinn, you feel for that kid, even though he's like, you wonder why he's still doing all this stuff. But then it's contextualized in a way that you understand why he's doing this stuff, and you understand why he's such a vengeful person, why he's so just full of rage and everything like that, and you get all that. Thor's Kell, oh my dude, my guy, just fighting fighting all day, every day. Just that guy was my favorite character, like one of my favorite characters. Thor's, even though we interacted with him for it was like 4 episodes, something like that, whatever. He was a great character, and the way he's been like sprinkled throughout the show. Just like Askeladd's friend, like you get introduced to him, and you feel like he's just a brutish, like mushroom eating piece of shit. But by the end of it, you're like, they have that duel, and they have that emotional moment, and you're all over the place. Fucking my boy Knut is my dude. I love that character because initially you're just like, who's this like weirdo, like whatever, and then he's just like, I'm a man. You're like, yeah, you are. Yes, you are a man.
You better.
You killed my father figure. Try me, bitch.
Try me,
bitch. Just questioning God and everything. God, it was just so good. It was such a good, like, and like the moments of like great action and horrific shit going on, and like you'd understand like that shit happened in that time period all the time, especially when they go in the village and they basically just massacre, except for that one girl which has that oh my god. And it was a show where like I was okay with sitting through all 24 episodes, because every time it moved on, I'm like, I need to find out what happens. I need what happens with these characters. I need what happens. I need to find out if Thorfinn gets his revenge. I need to see like what happens to this whole thing. And we're getting a second season. They're telling us we're getting a second season. This is also why I'm putting it on my number one too, because I know there's a continuation of it. And I know there's stuff that's going to happen afterwards. I've been this close to just getting the manga and reading it, and I feel like I'd rather just kind of go through it at my pace of watching the anime and everything. And here's the thing about the show, and I'm surprised it got a second season. At least maybe on their side, on Japan side, maybe they had more of a wider release, but it's only on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, it's not easy to watch.
No, it's not. It's not. You can't find it on Crunchyroll. You have to like do all that kind of stuff, whatever. But I think just from word of mouth, like it's. I've known a lot of people that have talked about it and everything. So, I did try to get some of my historical buddies into it, and they were not feeling it because they were just like, it's too anime or like not,
Of course.
it's not not necessarily fully historically accurate. And I'm like, yeah, but like some of you guys watch Vikings, which I know also some of them don't like Vikings either, which I also agree with. I think Vikings is kind of cringe, but because I feel like Vikings is a show that's designed for like people who think how it's basically the show of like, yo, Vikings are cool, bro. Fishtails, tattoos. Fuck y'all
Fishtails, tattoos.
Fishtails, tattoos might be a white supremacist. You don't know.
Jeez.
Vikings.
Oh my god.
It's ironic because it's on the History Channel, and a lot of that history on that show is very loose.
Fair, yeah.
Very loose, but even to the point with Vinland Saga, it's understandable because like it's not a wholly original story. It's not taking it's taking some historical characters, but it's like it's understandable. It's doing its own thing, and it's in a genre that's understandably going to have a little more looseness with its historical accuracies. Whereas like Vikings, it's on the History Channel.
Yeah.
Which, granted, you watch an episode of Vikings and it's like tonight on Ancient Aliens, and you're like, I see where we are.
I see.
I see how it be.
History, sure.
History, sure, yeah, 100%, But it's that show, the way it's all done, the way it's all handled, and the way it's presented, it was definitely I when I was making this list. And I was thinking about all the anime I'd watched and everything like that. I'm like, it's still like the.
I knew it was gonna be your number
Oh,
one.
well, yeah.
I was like, there's no way it's not.
Yeah, it just there was not, I was anime I didn't put in my honorable mentions. I still want to watch is Demon Slayer. And I know a lot of people have been talking about it and wanting to watch it, but again, like just because of my free time and how I spend my time and how I try and do a lot of these things, like. I just didn't. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch fucking Demon Slayer at some point. It might be in my top for next year. I don't know. Maybe in my top for next year. I'm not sure. But there's a lot of anime I do want to watch. But if anything, out of all the stuff we had watched between Parasite and your Yuri on Ice and all this other stuff, like it was the one that just stood out to me as like this.
Shitty.
Sorry. Music first. I will say this: the weakest part of the show, second season theme song, not as good as the first. The second half.
Oh yeah,
theme song,
the second theme song is not
as good as the first one.
Yeah, no,
the
that first one's a banger.
Yeah, 100%. I understand a lot of people are probably like, we watched Jujutsu Kaisen or whatever, and obviously we didn't watch it all the way through, and I'm sure people are like, well, that show should be.
Haven't finished it.
I don't have zero interest in it. I still have any interest. I will say, out of all the theme songs this year, maybe in the top.
This is a really good theme song.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good.
Just got kind of bored of the story, sorry.
Yeah, I just didn't really.
I mean, maybe I'll eventually finish it if I'm like really just wanting to watch something, but
I'm not. I'm probably not gonna sit through it. I'll probably. There's other stuff I do want to wind up watching before I'd want to finish up Jujutsu Kaisen and everything like that.
Yeah.
But so that's my number one. Congratulations, Vinland Saga. I'm sure people who have. You feel you want to accept our reward, we'll send you a sticker. How about that? Made you our number one. Here, Animation Studio, send us a
Or
sticker.
a Metal Waifu sticker. Here you go. Enjoy.
Like, what the fuck is this? What's a Metal Waifu? Can't read this.
Like, I'm sorry. I just wanted to tell you did a good
You did
job.
a good job in the anime. Fuck you.
I'm just broke. I'm sorry.
Stupid American. Get out of here.
God damn.
Fucking weeb.
Jesus Christ.
Racist.
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 Skeleton in a schoolgirl shirt. Or schoolgirl skirt. What?
Skirt.
Whatever. Skirt.
All right. So now I have a question. What the fuck's your number one?
Ooh, boy.
Is it horny?
No.
Your first one. Is your number one?
No. If you follow me on Instagram at the time of everything coming out, because I watched it every time an episode came out, I watched it. I specifically got premium Crunchyroll in order to make sure that I watched this. Crunchyroll or Funimation?
Probably Funimation.
I think it was Funimation. Maybe it was. I don't remember. I already forgot. But my number one... Fruits Basket.
Oh, fucking... I forgot this came out.
Last season, literally it was called the final season, came out this year. So it's 3 seasons in total. My God, it's phenomenal. It's so well done. And the reason that it is so incredible is because if anyone is an OG damn fan of the show, knows that garbage anime we got that never got finished, got one of the worst dubs I've ever heard in the history of dubs. It's so horrendous. I don't even think you can find those episodes anymore. I think those original episodes have been like wiped from the internet. I don't know. But what a fucking upgrade. The animation, amazing. Getting to finally see this story fully fucking animated, amazing. And the story itself is just so damn sad and so damn amazing. And just, Jesus, it's a lot.
I feel like I'm glad we did this top 3 because I think it is definitely an understanding of how way different our taste is.
Yes, 100%. I told you I was going to be calling myself out on this episode because you're going to see you're going to see what I enjoy.
Like if you want to understand like what the divide between a shonen Chad and a shojo Chad is. This is the divide.
What's up, my guy?
What's up, my dude? You like yourself some shonen animes? You like some Dragon Ball? And she's over here like, Fruit Basket, what's up? I'm gonna cry tonight. I'm gonna be sad.
Literally every time I posted about watching it on Instagram, the only thing I would say is it's time to cry. Because it's time to cry. It's so sad. But it is a really good story. If you don't know anything about Fruits Basket, it follows a family, the Soma family, and their curse of the zodiac. And basically what it means is that there are 12 people in this family that are cursed with a zodiac sign, which means they cannot hug the opposite gender, or else they turn into that animal. So you have a cat, a rat, a boar, I think he's supposed to be an ox, but he looks like a cow. But he's my boy. It's just my Hatsuharu. Hatsuharu and Ren are my ultimate ship. Okay. Ren is a horse, by the way. Ren is the horse, let's be honest. But it follows, you've got the dog. Who else is there? There's the seahorse, but I think it's supposed to be a dragon. I think that's what it actually is in the Zodiac, but in this story, he's a seahorse. He's so small. That's great. What are the other Zodiacs I'm forgetting? The tiger, the monkey. The monkey, she crazy. Her and her mom, she's fucking crazy. And there's some other ones I know that I'm forgetting, but I just can't. Oh, the rabbit, Momiji, little rabbit, little yellow bunny. It's adorable. But yeah, so basically you get introduced to Toru, the main character, who her father died when she was little, and then her mother passes away, and so she's living on her own and just telling everybody that everything is okay, and that she's living in a tent in the woods, and she ends up finding out that she's living on Soma land, and so it's Yuki and holy shit, I just forgot his name. Shigure. They find her, they invite her to the house, she ends up living with them, and basically she, of course, finds out this curse, she becomes very involved in it, and then she kind of makes it her mission to break this curse, and of course there's a lot of romance that happens in there, there's a lot of just really dark shit. It's actually a pretty dark story, like I do not recommend children watch it. It talks, there's attempted murder, there's attempted suicide, there is a lot of abuse, so much abuse, there is drug abuse, and this abuse is all towards children because there's a handful of the families that completely reject the kid that is cursed with the zodiac. Like the mothers go nuts and like either have killed themselves or they just completely reject the child altogether, and then they have a different baby and just act like that first kid doesn't exist, which is Momiji's story. So sad. And Momiji's dad because she was so depressed, and they ended up having Hattori wipes her memory. And he tells Momiji when he's a kid, like, you can no longer interact with your mom and you cannot interact with your sister. You are no longer a part of this family. You never tell her that you are her child. Like, it's some sad shit that these people go through. And then, of course, you deal with Akihito, however it's pronounced, which is the god of the zodiac. You get to learn some shit there. Oh, and some shit that I don't know if any of us were really expecting who she has sex with. And the fact that you find out that that's a she and not a he. There's a whole bunch of just a lot. It's a lot. Oh, there's the rooster too. There's Kureno. Yeah. He's a chicken. But yeah, it's a great batch of characters. You see, I think it's some of my favorite character development, and that's part of what I love about it so much, is it is natural character development, and it's character development that makes sense. Like, you're watching these people evolve out of their trauma, and you're having to watch them deal with their trauma in multitudes of ways, and it's just... Oh, and the snake. That's Ayame. That's Yuki's brother. Oh, him in his dress shop and his little assistant that he finally hugs at the end and is like, I'm never gonna let you go. And I'm just like, ah. See, I told you I was gonna call myself out.
I'm gonna dip my balls in some $1,000. I got depression.
I put my dick in a
bag of Doritos and make it suck the dust off the tip.
It is so...
Jesus Christ.
It's deep. Like, there really is so much to it.
Yeah.
And I've actually turned, like, a couple people onto it, and, you know, just because they hear me vent, they're like, do what I'm doing now, which is just like, there's this, and there's this, and there's this, and then they're like, I need to watch it. And then they'll text me, and they're like, I'm, like, 6 episodes in, and I can't stop. And I'm like, I'm sorry, you're welcome, enjoy.
God.
At least y'all don't have to wait weekly for episodes like I did.
Yeah, you just have to binge through it.
And it's a stunning animation. The animation is so good. It's so beautiful.
You're selling it. Like, if I end up watching it or whatever, I'll give it a sit down. But like, when I was being... Original Fruit Basket came out in what, like 2006, 2007, 2008,
anime,
or like just in general when
the
everything
manga came out in the 90s.
Okay,
it's an old story.
Old, but like the anime came out around like 2007, 2008, maybe somewhere there.
Let's find out.
Because that depends. Because that my first understanding of Fruit Basket was from when I was younger. I was going to MetroCon.
And that was 1998 to 2006 was the
anime
manga release.
Okay.
And then,
excuse me, that was
disgusting. I think 2001. Yeah, 2001. The final episode aired from the original, and man, let me tell you, where that original series ends, garbage.
2001. 2001 in Japan it was released in 2001. So stateside it probably didn't come out till a little later.
I mean, probably not that much later because I do remember. Well, granted, I think I've watched it around like 2006 or something, but that was just because of my age.
That's when it was like big.
But the thing is I think the anime clearly was also being done while the manga was still in production. Yeah. So that's why it got left where it was. Why it was never picked up to continue after that, I have no idea. But good God, it was.
Yeah. So that was like during the time period where I was going to MetroCon, and I was going to like because I was big into anime and all that stuff during that time period when I was a kid, and I remember like people were just like Fruit Basket, and what the fuck's the name of the show where it's the rich kid club.
Or on High School Club.
Yeah. That we watched that one. There was that shit, and there was all that kind of stuff, and it was me coming to the realization of two things. One, I think I felt like I was outgrowing anime, and two, I was out of my element because then it was just like I like Dragon Ball, I like these things, and then the majority of the audience for these girls are just like I watch all this shit, and I'm just like I don't vibe. It's not clicking right now. And then when it gets to the point where like I would talk to like guys or whatever and everything like that start talking about animes, and either A, they start talking about anime that they were watching on like some off website or like getting it from a DVD and like an import or whatever and some shit. I'm just like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You're literally speaking Japanese to me. I don't know what I like. It was getting to the point where I was like, I'm out of my element, Donnie. Like, like it's the Sabbath. It's a Sunday. I can't go bowling. Like I keep on hitting gutter balls, and I'm just like, hey man, I'm watching Naruto on Toonami. He's like, you know about Shippuden, right? You know about they're already teenagers, and you're already on the fucking anime on Toonami. I'm like, bro,
Jesus
what the fuck are you talking
Christ.
about? I'm like, what's going on? And I'm like, this is how I consume myself. And I think that was like, I think that might have been like, because I remember Fruit Basket being one that was called out a lot. And I think that might have like put the perception of everything when I stopped watching anime hardcore for a while, where I was just like, I'm where I don't sit well here in this area anymore. Like
I can't sit at this table.
I can't sit at this table anymore. There's other things I want to do. I got other hobbies and interests and everything. I don't know if I'm going to be investing it on watching multiple DVDs that you would printed of fan dubs and subs and all that shit. And you're just like, this shit's loose, man. This is some fucking...
That original dub of that fucking anime was so horrendous.
Oh, is that bad?
Ayame, why they gave him the deepest voice ever when he has the highest voice in the Japanese. It's like, sir, this is a flamboyant... He is still straight, but he is very flamboyant, and he makes dresses. Why would you give him, like, the fucking Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson deep voice? I'm like, hello? It was offensively low. I was just like, I heard it, and I was like, going back to the dub. Or not go back to the sub. I'm done. I'm over it. Okay, that was awful.
Fresh out.
And I still haven't listened, because they did fully dub the new version,
series.
and I haven't listened to it because I'm scared.
Hold me, I'm scared.
I'm so scared. I don't even think I've looked up the cast. I'm scared.
Jesus Christ.
I'm permanently traumatized just by Ayame's voice alone. And I love the Japanese cast. It's so good. It's just so good. Like the voices, and I think some of the voices are actually, or maybe even most of them, are the original from all the way back in the 2000s, or the late 90s, early 2000s now.
Okay.
Because they all sound pretty damn similar, if not the same. So, but yeah, it's great.
It's great.
I highly recommend it. I mean, I understand that a lot of people are not going to be into the, like, yes, there is a bit of that cheesy romance part, but man, the watching these characters evolve is just, it's really something special. Like, you're just like, you're kind of just on the sidelines, like, yeah, you get out of that trauma space. Yeah. It's like when your friend goes to therapy and you're like, you're doing so good. Me.
Us 2021.
Yeah.
It's us. It's me. They're talking about me. Spit everywhere. Jesus Christ.
I'm trauma too.
Hey.
But yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. So.
Jeebus. There it is.
There it is.
There it is.
Our top three.
There's our top three from each of us. I think this is a good understanding of where we're both watchers of anime. We both enjoy anime, but you can definitely, I think it shows you how like wild of an art form it is, because a lot of people assume that anime is just one thing. You assume it's just like, your Dragon Ball or all that kind of stuff, or like.
And people assume it's always for children, and I'm like,
oh yeah,
bruh,
oh yeah,
no.
and then you're like hentai, and you're like,
there's a lot of shows that even though I absolutely love and I will recommend to everyone else, I will not recommend them to children.
Berserk. Would you like some Berserk?
Yeah, Jesus, like.
Would you like some of that?
Just because it looks cute doesn't mean that it is cute.
What's the name of that magical girl show where it's like it looks like a regular magical girl show, but then like one of the characters dies in like the first episode, like gets her head cut off or whatever. It's like Moki, or not Doki Doki Literature Club. It's like Madoku Magic Girl.
Yes,
yeah, shit like that. You're like, oh, it's a cute anime.
Oh no!
There's no God.
Or it could be like Queen's Blade, where you're like, wow, these are just some really pretty women, and then they're naked the whole fucking time, and you're like, wow.
You're like,
Wow, wee, wow.
wow. You think it getting hot in here or what?
Yeah, it's all like anime is all over the damn place. The whole genre, and it's weird almost calling it a genre because it's really just like an art form.
At this point, yeah, it's gotten to a point where it's just like it's animation, but it's its own form of animation because it keeps on doing different genres and different things. And granted, it does have its own genres within itself, between like the self-insert shit or like the reliving animes and all that kind of stuff. But like yeah, it's a whole thing. It's a whole rigmarole. It's a whole wild west that I'm more excited to keep watching and keep finding stuff that I like and more understanding my taste and what I'm willing to put up with in terms of like maybe finally watching like the cutesy slice of life anime and being like, I actually really enjoyed this. It was actually very pleasant.
There are some that are very just like kind of heartwarming to watch.
Yeah.
There are definitely, I will be the first one to tell you, I'll be like, this is cheesy as shit.
Some cheesy.
But sometimes I need that in my life just because it breaks up the sadness of my life. I don't know. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I've watched a lot of like heavy romance when I've been sad, so I'm like, I just want to feel something.
I have my go-tos for like that kind of shit though. A lot of times it kind of comes like music. You know what I listen to where I get really sad sometimes, or I want to feel really sad and just want to be in the moment? I just listen to Michael Giacchino's music from Up. Just listen to fucking Married Life.
Jesus Christ.
Fucking God. I remember seeing the movie in the theaters and I'm just like sitting there like, what?
Don't cry. Don't cry.
Why is Pixar making me sad?
Yeah, right. Like,
It was that film, and then immediately followed by like Toy Story 3. And then Toy Story 3 was like, you're getting old. Age is coming. We might kill your toys in the fucking fire trash pits. And you're like, everyone's dead.
I don't want to be an adult.
I don't want to be an adult anymore. You're like, too late, motherfucker. You're like,
yeah.
But on that weird sad note of what I listen to when I'm fucking depressed. For next month, we obviously are going to talk about for the next episode, we're obviously going to be talking about our top 3 metal albums of the year. Ooh.
I'm going to get called out hard on this episode. I know it.
Are you serious?
I think I am. I think I'm going to get called out.
I know I'm getting called out for
but
parameters.
I have reasons, okay? I have reasons. Just leave me alone. Give it a chance.
Give it a chance.
But yeah.
All right. Sounds good. We'll catch you guys in a couple weeks. I don't know what the fuck that was.
Just my guy.
My guy. We're still trash.
Nope.
All right. We'll catch you guys on the next episode. Bye.
Bye.